Alright, so much like everybody that watches my videos, I am a lifetime horror fan. And there's certain movies out there that we always say, like, that, they couldn't make a sequel to that. They can't remake that type of shit. And time again, Hollywood has come along and dumped fucking piece of shit after piece of shit on top of us. But every once in a while, you get something like this that comes along and just totally squashes all that bullshit. Like, you can make a sequel fucking 35 years later or 40 years later almost at this point. So today we're going to talk about Doctor Sleep, which was written and directed by Mike Flanagan based on the book Doctor Sleep by Stephen King. This is a fucking awesome film right from the gate. I'm going to let it be known. I love it to pieces. Film starts off with a bit of a flashback of Danny's life right after the events that happen at the hotel. You get some very haunting imagery here. You get some really good people that came in place of, say, Shelley Duvall, Danny Torrance, played by Danny Lloyd, and Scatman Crothers played Dick Halloran. The guy that they got to replace him was great. Even the guy that, to give a bit of a spoiler, there's a guy that kind of is there for a placeholder of Jack Torrance, and they did a good job with him as well in terms of look. But this film, it goes from the aftermath of the hotel into Danny's adulthood, where he is alcoholic, addicted to drugs. He's fucking prostitutes, ripping prostitutes off, and all that kind of stuff. And he finds his way up north, not up north to the point of Canada, but up north, and he basically meets this guy who's played by Pablo Escobar in Blow, and he was also the Mexican dude in Training Day who holds the shotgun to Ethan Hawke's face and all that shit. But he plays a great job as like this buddy guy that's here to, he's a recovering addict himself. He gets Danny into AA and rehabilitation, all that kind of stuff. He ends up making an 8-year chip, or getting his 8-year chip, which is a great. He gives a great speech saying how this was really for Jack. It's for Jack Torrance, and it's very touching. But at the same time, he's been having these conversations via The Shining with this young girl whose name is Abra in the film, who's a fantastic little actress. I'm not sure of her name, but she's gonna have a bright future, especially if she sticks to horror, chooses her scripts properly, and goes for good stuff like that, like this film. She's gonna go far, because that scene where she's sitting on the edge of her bed and looking like with her head to the side, like scared shitless, like that is freaky, man. And that put me into a state of almost grossness, like to the point where I was like, oh, like it's an unsettling look. And she's there to scare the shit out of people, and she did her fucking job and did it well. So kudos to you, young lady. You have a good fucking future ahead of yourself. I can't wait to see more, but they form this bond, and they communicate via this chalkboard wall that's in Danny's bedroom, because the previous tenant was a college student who, wrote all of his equations, or, that type of shit. So that explains why there's a chalkboard in his room. And, at the same time, there's this group of people who are sort of unnamed that go around. They possess the Shining themselves in a way, but they use it more for these insidious purposes to drain the steam out of people that have the Shining. And that's how they stay alive, stay young. And they're led by this like badass hippie chick that my girlfriend thinks is like the fucking coolest looking chick of all time. She is. She looks super cool. She wears like a cool hat and all that. Like even her gang. It's like basically a bunch of pikeys. Like if you've seen Snatch, like they're in a bunch of vans and trailer homes, and they go fucking flying around and find people and kill them. There's some graphic child murders in this film. I'm gonna totally fucking tell you right now. There's stuff in here that will fuck you up, if you're not ready for the kind of horror, because kids being killed in such a brutal way is something that I've never even really seen on film, so it's crazy. It makes that scene in Assault on Precinct 13 by John Carpenter look like a fucking joke. Like that was a quick, easy death. With this, the more you suffer, the more pain you go through, the more steam you produce, and the more power they get. So they want to inflict as much pain as possible. But it's, the climax of the film, of course, has to be at the Overlook Hotel, and it's there where you have an amazing recreation of the hotel. I'm telling you, down to the carpet that's so goddamn iconic. It's there. Everything is there. Everything is in place. You got the twins. You got. I don't want. Oh, fuck. I probably just gave a major spoiler there, but you get a very cool way of how Danny's been able to hide these demons in his head for so long, and when he eventually needs to unleash them, which is very cool. And even like the scenes that have Dick Halloran in them harken to the end of the film with Danny and Abra. So you get some really good stuff out of these actors, and great direction for sure. So, Doctor Sleep is a film you must watch. And with that being said, have a good night. Adios.